Today for Read Aloud, we're going to be reading A Wish to Breathe Free, Izidor Ruckle from Romania. Make sure your notebook is set up. A wish to breathe free. If you are like most people, you probably like doing things outside. Maybe you love biking or skiing or playing team sports like soccer or baseball. Or maybe your thing is catching some sun on the beach, hiking in the woods, or just looking up at the stars in the night sky. Until he was 10 years old, Izidor Ruckle hadn't done any of those things. In fact, by the time Izidor was 10, he had been outdoors exactly twice. Once when his parents dropped him off at an orphanage, and once when he was moved to another orphanage, one for older children. How could it be that 10 years old Izidor had been outside only twice? Well, when Izidor was a baby, the disease polio had crippled his leg. In Romania, where he lived, children with disabilities were hidden away from the rest of the world. At the time, Romanian law forced women to have at least 5 children so that there would be more people to grow up and become workers. Anyone who couldn't work was considered an embarrassment. They were placed in orphanages and adult homes where they could be kept out of sight as cheaply as possible. In the second orphanage where Izidor lived, there were about 400 other children with disabilities. On cots lined up against the wall, the children slept 2 to a bed, head to toe. If someone wet the bed, it could be weeks before the sheets were changed. Once, Izidor and another child were caught mimicking one of the orphanage nannies behind her back. In a regular school or child care, they might have been given detention or a timeout, but in the Romanian orphanage, both boys were beaten with a broomstick until they couldn't move. For 9 years, I didn't even know what hope was, says Izidor. Many of Izidor's friends died in the orphanage. There was a good chance that he would too. But in 1990, Izidor's fortune changed. An American filmmaker visited the orphanage, and Izidor's story was shown on ABC TV 2020. The video caught the eye of a Californian couple who was looking to adopt a child. When they saw Izidor on television, they immediately wanted to help him. After a long adoption process, Izidor went to live with the Ruckles in sunny California. When he landed at Los Angeles International Airport, Izidor thought the terminal would be his new home. Living in the United States was not easy at first. Izidor believed that the people in Romania who had told him that his new parents would not love him. When they arrived in Los Angeles, the only thing he could say in English was, "No, love you." Luckily, Izidor was wrong about his new parents. They loved their son and wanted to do all they could to care for him. The Ruckles brought Izidor to the Shriners Hospital in San Diego. After 6 operations, Izidor was able to walk on his leg that had been crippled by polio. This is an amazing story of survival, but it wasn't enough for Izidor. He realized that he had been given a great chance at a happy life. He knew others back in the Romanian orphanages who were not so lucky. "I have a choice," he said. "I can go on with my life and forget about them, or I can do something about it." Izidor contacted a group called Cherish Our Children International and asked how he could help. The organization said that orphans in Romania were like dust, hidden under a carpet. No one knew about them, so no one helped them. Izidor made it his mission to lift up the carpet so everyone could see them. When he was 15, Izidor started touring the United States, speaking about the horrible treatment of Romanian orphans. It wasn't hard for him. All he had to do was tell his story. In gyms and lecture halls across the country, telling people about the 160,000 kids who still lived in government orphanages. These kids received between 2 and 5 minutes of attention per day. He told audiences about the beatings he had received and the hopelessness he had felt. He told people that babies who were born with AIDS or those who got the disease through unclean blood transfusions were abandoned in the streets. He told people how they could help. Izidor put a face on the Romanian orphan crisis. In the 1990s, aid from all over the world started pouring into the country. People also began adopting children from orphanages. Today, there are hundreds of organizations dedicated to helping Romanian children. Izidor ended his speeches around the United States by saying, "No one must ever forget." Izidor did not give these words only as a promise. He lived them. In 2001, Izidor went back to Romania on a trip sponsored by ABC TV. He said of his visit, "I went back to the hospital where I had been kept for 11 years. I saw many friends there. Friends I grew up with, still in the same hospital, living under the same terrible conditions I'd left 10 years before. It nearly broke my heart." But living in the United States, what else could Izidor do for them? He decided the answer was not enough. On November 28, 2005, Izidor moved back to Romania for good. He said about continuing his work with Romanian orphans, "I'm hoping that I can start new projects since I will be on hand to see what is needed." Already, he has succeeded in making sure his Romanian friends are not forgotten. Okay, in your notebook, please make sure that you are writing your notes. You need 2 things about Izidor Ruckle. So tell me something that you learned, something that surprised you, or a fact. If you've made it to this part in the video and you are done, please get your My Book now.